Namaste and good morning, everyone.
Hi, good morning.
Namaste.
Morning.
Good morning.
How are you all?
We're good.
All good?
Yeah. Hi,
Jennifer? Oh,
Hi, Shibam. This is Jennifer. Can I have my presentation on Friday? And my topic is all about connective tissue. Is that fine?
yes, it is perfectly fine. So I will write your name here in the corner so I
Thank
won't
you.
forget. So Jennifer,
Yeah.
Friday.
Friday,
And
yes. Connective
topic?
tissue.
Connective tissues. So all the connective
Yes.
tissues, okay.
Yes, thank you very much.
It's Greg here. I was just wondering if we are doing this online, do we have 90 days to
Do we have?
90 days to do this course?
This question I cannot answer or I don't know the answer because
Okay,
I'm a
okay.
teacher. So the management faculty will
Oh.
tell you about this.
Okay. So because they're saying 90 days to complete
Or
it.
every
So-
person, it may be different.
Okay. So in regards to the presentation, do I have to do it next week?
No problem. Like if you have
I can
some
if you
10,
like.
yeah, 10 minutes only, 10 to 15 minutes only, max,
Okay.
or minimum 10 minutes, any topic, any day, whatever you want on the next week. And it is just for me, not for the
Okay.
school or anyone. Yeah,
Okay.
just
So
for me. Yeah.
okay. So do we just log into this Zoom
Yeah.
class on the
Yeah, the same class. So you will be giving presentation and we will be discussing about what we understood about that for 10, 15 minutes.
okay.
As a teacher training part, yeah. Because we are not students now, we will become the teachers, everyone. So
Okay.
we have to do this with the teachers, some activities.
Are there any more details you've given in previous lessons? Like, do I have to do a PowerPoint or just show pictures and talk or?
Or you can just speak about it.
Okay.
Just talk. Yeah.
Okay. If I speak about the ribs, is that sufficient or
Yes,
not?
yes, perfectly fine. It will be perfectly fine, yes.
Okay.
About
Well,
the ribs or about any bone.
I'll do the ribs next Saturday then. Is that okay?
Okay. So next Saturday about the ribs and sternum
And sternum. Okay.
and Greek.
Great. Yes. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
We have to chant Om before we begin. So let's start with the Om. Eyes closed, back and spine straight. Make your breath normal first. Relax. Now you can take a long breath and begin with the Om. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you so much. Open your eyes. So everyone now has been given, I think, about your names and topics. What we have studied yesterday, can you please tell me or remind me? Because my memory is not so sharp.
We got up to the respiration system.
Okay. So the respiration. We started with the respiratory. Some things we have seen, I remember now. We have seen some things about the rate of respiration and the composition of the gases or about some definition only. So we have to just see the process of respiration here. Now, the parts and the process of respiration. So the parts with the process of the respiratory system, we will see how magical is our respiratory system. You will know now after we will see. The respiratory system, the first primary source to breathe. The primary source is when we breathe, we can breathe with our nostrils. The first and the secondary source is our mouth. So here I will just write down the primary source, our nose, and the secondary one is our mouth, our oral cavity and the nasal cavity. So the nasal and the oral cavity, we can breathe with both. Here in the respiration, when we breathe with the nostril, the air passes through the nose, but in the nose you will see the hair. You will see the small tiny hairs in our nose. So what are these tiny hairs? Also, there are some mucous membrane in our nose. So we have in our nose tiny hair. For what purpose is this hair? This is what? To filter the air. So whatever the contaminants of the dust particles present in the air which we breathe, you will find a small hair in your noses, even in all our noses we find. That time this hair just filters this air, the dust particles which enter our respiratory tract. So we have this hair in our nose. Along with that, we have this mucous membrane. Mucous membrane is what? A sticky membrane. So whatever the dust particles, even if it will pass the hair, so even if it will travel, that particles will stuck to the mucous membrane, the sticky membrane in our nose. It won't allow to take those dust particles in our respiratory tract. So we have this hair and the mucous membrane in our nose. Mouth, oral cavity, I have just written down, but we know the oral cavity and the nasal cavity are for to breathe. For example, here I will tell you, more important, we do have to only and only breathe with our nose, only when we practice or when we breathe, when we even practice yoga. Only, I repeat this, I will not write on the whiteboard, but I will say you have to write important. Why we have to breathe with our nose? Because we have the energy channels as well originating from the nose. And breathing from the nose, we have to do for every posture, unless and until for few poses there is allowed, we can be doing breathing from the mouth. So what are those few postures where we can breathe with the mouth? Have you heard any posture to breathe with the mouth? Can you tell me any single posture when we need to breathe? Yes?
Is it the lion or tiger posture?
Lion or tiger, we breathe out.
Yeah, with
We-
the
we don't
with tongue
breathe.
out, no?
Yes, but we do not breathe in with the
Oh,
mouth. In the lion posture, the
Oh, that was-
roaring lion pose. But
Is that what
we
you were
breathe
thinking as
out.
well?
So not about that I am saying. We have to breathe with our nostrils in, but in roaring lion pose, we breathe out with our mouth. We do not breathe in like this. We have to breathe it out in roaring lion, like when we exhale. That's the sound of. I am not making that sound largely, but that is what we have to make it in the when we look in our third eye. The postures where we tilt our head up. In those postures, I am not saying we have to, but we can. We can keep our mouth slightly open, not completely open wide. So slightly open for those postures where we tilt our head back. So which postures like camel pose, like fish pose, like when we do the neck movement up, in those postures to breathe, if we find some difficulty, we have to keep our mouth slightly open, not completely open like wide mouth, like roaring lion. So only in that posture where our cervical part, where we tilt our head back, that time it is difficult to breathe. If you will practice, you will be knowing easily. If you hold camel pose, if you will hold fish pose for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, maximum, minimum, you will see how difficult it becomes to breathe and how you have to open your mouth slightly to take the air in. Then, apart from this, the air passes through the nose to the mouth, and then it will go to the which region? It will travel down to the pharynx region. So pharynx region means our throat. Pharynx region means our throat. So here, I will just show quick, like you see this human, our favorite human. Now, this is the nasal cavity. This is the windpipe. And this is the oral cavity. Can I put me on spotlight? If you cannot see, wait a second. I will put me on the spotlight. Yes. So where the air passes through the nasal cavity. So at the end of the nasal cavity, this region of the throat is known as nasopharynx. So pharynx means throat. At the end of the nasal cavity, nasopharynx. At the end of the oral cavity from the mouth, here, you will see osopharynx. These are just the sections of our throat. Then at the end or below the osopharynx, you will see laryngopharynx. Laryngopharynx. So the air passes with the nose, with the mouth, in the osopharynx. So it travels all in our throat region, and then it passes to the windpipe. But before the windpipe, you will have also one more part. That part will be an epiglottis. First, you tell me, have you cleared the pharynx section? Pharynx means throat. So we have nose, we have mouth, and we have pharynx. And there are three types of pharynx: nasopharynx at the end of nasal cavity, osopharynx at the end of oral cavity, and laryngopharynx below the osopharynx. Okay. Then the air will pass where there will be an epiglottis first. So first I will show here epiglottis. Here I will write E. E for epiglottis. Or shall I write the spelling? Okay, I will write the spelling. What is this epiglottis? What form of cartilage it is, the epiglottis? This epiglottis, a flap of tissue at the end of our throat, at the inferior region of our throat, at the bottom of our throat section, where it is a switch between our food pipe and windpipe. I repeat, this is what a switch between our windpipe and food pipe. So that will allow the food to travel to the food pipe only, and it will allow the air to pass through the windpipe. For example, if this epiglottis will not work properly and it will take the particle of food into your windpipe, then you will start coughing like this. It is involuntary issue. This is not controlled with our mind, involuntary. He is doing his own duty, whatever he has been told, without our control. Even when we eat, when we breathe, it will pass air to the windpipe and food pipe. So then we have this windpipe here, and the air passes through this windpipe. This windpipe is known as trachea. What is this windpipe known as? Trachea. I write here trachea. Okay, or windpipe in bracket I will write. Can you see the whiteboard because I am writing so small? Okay. Now, to this windpipe, to this trachea made up of the cartilage rings. If we will see our windpipe, which connects our throat to our lungs. So windpipe is what? Which connect our pharynx. Pharynx means throat to our lungs. And to this windpipe, this trachea, there will be the number of rings. So the rings of cartilage, you will see 1, 2, like this, there will be number of rings to this windpipe. Almost 15 to 20 number of rings will be there to this windpipe. In between 15 to 20 number of rings, our 5-inch long windpipe trachea made up of cartilage, which connects throat to the lungs. But if we see these rings, in these rings, in the first 2 rings, very important. There is no space to write, but I will say slowly, you can write. In the first 2 rings, what is there in the first 2 rings of the windpipe? There is our voice box from inside. So voice box is what? From inside. So this is what? The outside view of the windpipe. And here, just for example, I will show you the inside view of the windpipe. So the same windpipe, when you will see from the top, what is there inside the windpipe, then this windpipe is like this from inside. This is windpipe. Okay, so in the first 2 rings, that means over here, from inside, there will be your larynx. There will be your larynx. Larynx means your voice box. Larynx means our voice box in our larynx, in the first 2 rings of the trachea. That voice box, that larynx is made up of the mucous membrane. So this larynx is made up of our mucous membrane and mucous fold, which with the vibrations of that mucus rings in our trachea from inside, it will create the pitch of the sound. We can talk loudly or we can talk in a low voice as well. So like this. It is what? Controlled with our larynx. So our pitch of the sound vibrates here with the mucus fold inside the first two rings of the windpipe. Larynx, first two rings only, not the rest of the rings. But this is more important again. But from outside of this windpipe, the trachea, there will be a thyroid cartilage or thyroid gland. I repeat, from outside, we have seen in the endocrine system. What about thyroid gland? That thyroid gland we have drawn on the outside, that butterfly gland, if you will remember, the cover of the cartilage. Do you remember that? In the endocrine system, just in this week, maybe we have studied.
Yes.
Right.
Is that
Yes.
in the same? Is it in the same region as the larynx? Then
It
it
is the
covers the
same
larynx.
region. Yes,
Oh,
in the
okay.
same region, but from outside of the windpipe, outside. Larynx
Can
is
you-
inside the windpipe.
Can you step away from the whiteboard just a little bit so that I can see it? There we go.
This much.
Thank you. Yep. Thank you.
Yes, okay. Now, if I will also remind you about the first week or about the second week, if I will just remind you about the hyoid bone. Do you remember hyoid bone? The floating bone I told you in the skeletal system 2 weeks before? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So where is that hyoid bone? That floating bone. That floating bone is what? Above the thyroid cartilage here. That keeps our windpipe trachea open, the thyroid cartilage, and holds the muscles of the tongue behind. So the hyoid bone above this. And below the hyoid bone, the thyroid cartilage from outside. But if we will see the inside view of the windpipe, it will look like this, and it will have mucus folds, that is larynx, from inside, voice box. From outside, this. Also from inside, more important, also from inside, you will see here small, tiny hair. Can you see the small, tiny hair on the surface? What I have shown? That tiny hairs inside are on the surface of the windpipe known as cilia. Known as cilia. If you will see the tiny hair of this cilia pointing up. So these cilia, this tiny hair pointing up, I have drawn. You will see here, I will stand here. These cilia are also involuntary. Involuntary means they are not in control with our mind. So what will they do? They will continuously move up. They will continuously moving the hair upward direction. And what is the function? This is like a broom. Like we clean our house with a broom. Similarly, this cilia will clean our windpipe. They will continuously move in the upward direction. Whatever the contaminants from the air or the dust particles will enter in our respiratory tract, that will be removed by the cilia constantly every time we breathe. With each breath we take in and with each breath we take out. But what happens generally in this modern world, or not in the modern world, I would say, but people who do lots of smoking or people who have a lot of intake of smoke, they burn this hair. They are what? Burning the cilia or the tiny hair who are working in the industries, in the chemicals, or even passively, not only with the smoking. So even passive intake of the smoke is hazardous or is not good for our windpipe. So when this cilia gets burned, then the contaminants air can pass clearly and can affect our lungs. So this was just to protect our lungs. And if these hairs are burned, then it will not grow. It will grow back, but not like the previous, not that much in the length as well. So whatever is natural, that is natural. So we do avoid the smoking or try to wear the mask even in the cities, or try to keep away ourselves from the smoke generated, even if it's active or passive, to avoid the infections of our lungs. Okay, up till here, is it clear? Yes, no? Okay, more important, these things. Not, I will now erase these things and will proceed with the lungs. So first I have to erase this. Do you want to see this one last time before erasing?
It's okay.
Okay, so I will erase. As a yoga teacher as well in your life or in our life, try to be being a professional yoga teacher or a yoga practitioner is very hard nowadays. If you see, like, in general, I am speaking, not judging anyone, but in the Yoga Alliance or in the certified things, people do become a yoga teacher, teaching pranayama, teaching these things, but they do smoke or do like lots of addictions, which are not helpful, or even they cannot teach it from the heart. So if we in our life would like to be a great yoga teacher, first we would have to apply things in our life for a long period of time, and then we can teach from the heart and not only from the books. So please apply as a yoga teacher as well. Tell your friends or relatives if they are a yoga teacher as well, and they do some hazardous things while they teach. It's not good. All the philosophy we need to apply before we teach. Then we have the next part, the branches of trachea, or we can say the lungs. So inside the lungs, we will have branches of trachea. So I will just draw the end of the lungs, or end of the windpipe. So this is what the end of the windpipe, the rings, and then you will have the branches, one in the left lung, other in the right lung. So this is your left lung and this is the right lung. In the right lung, you will have more branches. So you will have the branches, 3 more from the right lung and 2 more in the left lung. Okay, so there are 3 branches of trachea in your right lung and 2 branches of trachea in your left lung. You know the reason? Can you tell me the reason why?
Because your heart is on the left side.
Yes, our heart is in the center, but slightly tilted to the left side, like this. Right. Now, so the first branches are to be known as bronchi. So these are what? The primary bronchi. The section, one in the left lung and the other in the right lung. The first slit are known as primary bronchi. These are all the bronchi. Bronchites means the branches of trachea, branches of windpipe. Then this primary bronchi will split, and that split will be 3 into the right and 2 into the left. So the blue sections are to be known as the secondary bronchi. Secondary bronchi. Okay, now this blue section will more split further. The primary bronchi will split into secondary bronchi. The secondary bronchi will split into more. And to the secondary bronchi, there will be tertiary bronchi as well. So there will be a small, tiny bronchi to this secondary bronchi. I will erase this heart now. This is a heart without a heart. This human has no heart. So this primary bronchi will split into secondary, and the secondary bronchi will split into the tertiary bronchi. So the red small r again tertiary bronchi. Now the air will be passing from the windpipe to the primary, to the secondary, and to the tertiary bronchi. There will be 3 types of bronchi. Further, we will see to these bronchi, what will be there? There will be bronchioles. So the black section bronchioles, I will just draw the bronchioles connected to the bronchi. So the air passing to the primary, secondary, and tertiary bronchi, after it will pass through the bronchioles, which are connected to the tertiary bronchi. And as this air will reach to the tertiary bronchi, then this tertiary bronchi will carry our air sac. Sorry, the tertiary bronchi are connected to the bronchioles. I will first
Sorry,
name.
could you just say what the black bits were again?
I will say bronchioles. See here, I will write. I did not write it before. So here I have written the bronchioles. So there will be around 20 to 30 millions of bronchioles in our body. How much? 20 to 30 millions of bronchioles in our lungs. These bronchioles are in millions inside our lungs, spread all over the lungs, connected to the tertiary bronchi. And to these bronchioles, when the air will reach, these bronchioles will carry our air sac. So this is what the red dots I have drawn. These are nothing but the air sacs connected to the bronchioles. Okay, to each and every bronchiole, there will be air sacs connected. And these air sacs are known as alveoli. Alveoli or alveoli. These air sacs inside our lungs are known as alveoli or alveoli. All over, more than 30 to 40 million of alveoli inside our lungs. They look smaller, but they are like connected together. So for example, if I will show you alveoli, when we zoom, I repeat, when we will zoom this red dot, how will it look? This red dot will look like this. I will show here. So this is your black thing, the bronchiole. And to this bronchiole, if we will zoom the image, Then to this one red dot, there will be many alveoli, many, like a grape. Have you seen the grape, the fruit? So there will be many hundreds and thousands of alveoli to one bronchiole. In between, hundreds and thousands of alveoli to one bronchiole. So the air will reach to all these air sacs. This looks small in this diagram, but when we will zoom this image, like a grape, many alveoli. So when we breathe, our air sacs expands. We think the lungs do expand, but the air sacs inside the lungs expands as we breathe. And as we breathe out, that time our lungs or the alveoli gets contract or relax when we breathe out. And what is the function of the alveoli? I will tell you. Can you say me what is the function of the alveoli?
Is it to exchange the gases?
Yes.
It's where it happens, I think.
Perfect. It is what? To exchange the gas. That means when we breathe oxygen in the gaseous form, that time the oxygen will pass through all our nose, mouth, throat, windpipe, and it will reach till this air sac. And this air sac will take this gaseous form of oxygen and will convert it into liquid form of oxygen. It will diffuse this gaseous form of oxygen into liquid form. And around the lungs, there will be capillaries, which will carry our oxygen and to all the parts of the body. So to the liquid oxygen, we put it in our blood cells. It is taken to all the blood cells in our body. And at the same time, the carbon dioxide from our blood cells is taken back into alveoli and it's converted into gaseous form, gas. And when we exhale, that time we breathe out the gaseous form of carbon dioxide. Shall I repeat this sentence or do you got it?
It's good.
Repeat that last part again
It's okay.
about when it becomes carbon dioxide.
Okay. So in our body, there is a liquid form of carbon dioxide. And when we breathe out, we do not put out liquid, we put out gas. When we breathe out, exhale. So when we will breathe in, our oxygen, our body needs oxygen. So the oxygen in the air form, the gas form will enter our body. And as it will reach this alveoli, the alveoli will make this gaseous oxygen into liquid oxygen and will put it into our capillaries. And they will take it to all the parts of the body in the liquid form. So the blood vessels, through our blood vessels. But in the meantime, in the same time, from that blood vessels, the liquid form of carbon dioxide will be taken again into alveoli and it will convert into gas and we will exhale out gas. So this happens with every breath. Even at the moment now when you are breathing, every second of your life, this all the things is happening in your internal body like a magic, you can say. But this is what happens in the alveoli. Is it clear?
Yep, thank you. Can you again step away from the board so I can take a photo? Thank you. Thank you.
Photo. You will have the recording as well, I think. Got it?
Yep, I
About
have
the
a question
respiratory
about,
system.
so, I mean, I know
Yeah.
that carbon dioxide in large quantities is poisonous, right? So,
What?
No.
What can you tell me
isn't
again?
carbon dioxide pretty poisonous
Yes,
in
please.
large?
It is poisonous. Where?
Where is it poisonous?
You are saying the carbon dioxide is poisonous.
Yeah, I mean, it can be in large quantities, can it?
Yes, yes. So we need do pranayama for the fresh oxygen every day, early morning. When we lack in the oxygen, there will be like a more content of carbon dioxide. So the amount of carb in our body is what responsible in our blood cells to rise the level of carbon dioxide. So it also includes on our diet as well, what we eat, what we practice, when we breathe, at what time we breathe, when we do yoga. This is not like breathing every time. So specific with the conscious part of the mind, early morning and evening breathing techniques to be done every day. Anyone else? Any questions? No questions? Okay, great. So I will consider you understand everything about the respiratory process. That is great. You will read it one more time. You will get it what we have discussed here. If you will read it one more time. We'll chant Om one time and we'll allow you for your next classes. Back and spine straight and keep your eyes closed. And take a long breath. Inhale. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Thank you so much. Hari Om. Have a great day ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank you.
much.
The end of the meeting now.